maybe we can start a little bit chit-chatting while we wait a few minutes until everyone arrives. Maybe in India.
Yeah. So what I'll do is that I'll just it's like welcome Abdul Wazid, Kanika Arora, Maite Mintu, and Priyanka Singh as well as Shraddha Sawant. So these 5 attendees are available right now. I guess it's like we will be taking a little bit of more time so that more people will be attending. But in between means like once we can start the main core session. So before we can begin, we at SQ are the authorized partner for WirisQuizzes in India, as well as it's like deploying this technology. And we SQ uh, 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 are actually working with different scientific softwares across India and academia industry, particularly in EdTech industry in using MathType. And we have successfully deployed the technology in a number of places. Now, the today's meeting agenda will be more or less it's like conducted by Tuesday and how we can maximize the result with MathType and as well as WirisQuizzes for different it's like aspect of it's like the EdTech cycle that we always face and integrate the technology for a better understand, better output and interaction, user interaction. So more or less, this is what will be the agenda. Will be like brief introduction, and then it will be followed by the Queries ecosystem and how things are and what kind of solutions that we provide. And then further, we will be having some basic like interactions with you, and it's like you can raise your queries. So this is more or less a very like what you can say fundamentally is a very basic one single platform to start a it's like discussion, know about us, and also we will love to know about you, and then further take it forward to have a it's like in-person discussions on the different it's like requirements that individually on behalf of your organizations may come up with, right? So that will be taken separately. So with this, I think I will just pass on the mic to Jay. So she will be taking care. She is my IVD working from Spain, and she'll be taking care. It's like the whole presentation and the session. And feel free to ask us. So one thing is that okay, once the presentation is on progress, we will be it's like completing our sections, and maybe it's like you can actually raise the queries or the questions after much like the presentation session is complete. So that way, I guess it will be much productive to interact with you. It's like one by one, or maybe it's like if you have a common question, we can all jointly answer that, right? Right. Okay, over to you.
Okay, thank you. So I'll start from the end and go up. So I think maybe regarding if someone has any questions, they can just write it in the chats before they forget, like, and it can stay and I can later on go back to it.
Right.
And well, thank you very much for joining. Today we will talk about MathType and WirisQuizzes, especially a bit like more for the corporate market rather than the academic market. And well, thanks to Anindya and my colleagues who have been helping to assisting me with preparation of this webinar. And as we said, like if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, write it there, and contact us later. At the end of the presentation, I will also share Anindya's contact email. Maybe Anindya, you can also write it in the chat so that people have it already. And well, I will do a PowerPoint presentation, a little bit explaining who Wiris is, what MathType is, and WirisQuizzes is, and how they can help you to improve your day-to-day life. And also, I'll show them with a little bit of thank you, Anindya, with a little bit of like live demo also. And the links of the demos are actually open to public. So if later on you want to go and play a little bit with MathType or with WirisQuizzes, there are public links that you could you can go. Maybe before starting, we can give a little bit, like maybe 1-2 minutes more max, and then I'll start like with the presentation. In the meantime, I can open.
Yes.
I'm here. Okay, so let's see, share my screen. Here it is. Okay. So the title is Maximizing Results with MathType and WirisQuizzes for Corporate Professionals. So why did we prepare this webinar for corporates? Is because we know that the needs and the day-to-day life of corporates who are in STEM world, who are in education world, is quite different than the ones in academics. So we wanted to separate this based on the feedback and the experience that we get from our clients. So maybe talking a little bit about Wiris. So we are a software company based in Barcelona, Spain. So we have the headquarters here. We also have just 1 second. We also have another office in US, but the main office is here. So the office is like the company is around 100 people. I would say maybe half or a little bit more than half are mathematicians. So it's a really pure mathematics mindset company. Our owner and the CEO is also a mathematician himself. And all the products, the 3 products that we have in our portfolio are developed and released to help the STEM education or the STEM content creation, but especially for the math part. So so we have like millions, literally millions of users around the world, because we work with all the countries, and we have a lot of academic users, academic clients, schools, private schools, public schools, vocational schools, school districts, and governmental connections with the school districts, universities, Ministry of Education. And then if you think like even maybe one university buys a license for their, I don't know, 100 faculty and 5,000 students. So from one client from one country, we already have 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 users. So if you multiply this with the global clients that we have, we literally have millions of users. So half of our market is academic and the other half is corporate. So among the corporate, of course, somehow you have to be related to a mathematical formula, because all our products are related to mathematical formulas. So who can this be? Publishers. Publishers meaning creating digital books, digital content, or creating the digital content to be printed on paper. Assessment companies meaning perhaps preparation of exams, and having products that are used only during exam periods, or maybe some math Olympics, science Olympics, or perhaps university entrance exams, that the products of this company are not used every day, but like at some peak points of a year. Of course, general EdTech companies that support the institutes or education-related publishers by providing them service, by developing their own tools to assist users. Of course, governmental agencies, apart from the Ministry of Education, but for example, some governmental agencies that create the question bank for the university entrance exam. So these are like pure content creators that are not working for Ministry of Education like a teacher. We work very much with after-school tutors, giving private courses and classes to students who are getting prepared for these university exams, or just getting support for their daily school life. And also companies that develop their own LMS that they sell it to schools and universities. They develop their LMS, but developing a math editor from scratch is almost as painful as developing an LMS. So how we collaborate with LMS companies is that like once they have their product more or less ready to release and put to the market, they come to us to integrate MathType as like a part of their own product, like a feature of their own product, so that they don't lose time and human power to create a math formula editor, but they just like kind of make MathType their default editor before putting it to the market. So a few names here and there. So we have some clients that we have for several years, and we expect that like will work them in long term. And then we have some dynamic new clients joining and things. So this is not like the only and the main customers actually, but maybe the most popular names that you can hear. But we have very big, for example, we also work with the Russian government, that it's not here, that for whole Moscow public schools, they are using MathType in their elements that they developed themselves. But just to have some familiar names, we chose these ones. As you can see, like we work with famous, known, and several not that famous LMSs or content management systems. A lot of universities, public schools, private schools, K-12, research institutes, technical universities all around the world. We also like Pearson, Wiley, Learnocity, Sonoma, some like publishers, Cambridge, UK, all these ones are also our clients, partners, and online assessments like, again, ExamSoft, ProgressBook, several names that you can, we have on our client database. So here, this is like already a start to our products. So we don't have a lot of products because, as I said, like we do something really specific. We have only two main products. One of them is MathType. The other one is WirisQuizzes. MathType has two different types. MathType has MathType for office tools, and then we have MathType for HTML, XML, CMS, like online platforms, let's call online technologies. And then we have WirisQuizzes, which is a different assessment tool. It's not only to type mathematics, but it has a lot of additional features. Now we will go through these ones a little bit more in detail. So let's start with MathType, which is our most common. So we have millions of users. Majority of these users are coming from MathType usage. So with MathType, the thing is that like it supports MathML and it supports LaTeX. That's why we have so much variety of users on our client database as well. So you don't have to formulate your math. You don't have to write it in LaTeX. You don't have to write it in MathType. You just actually, like what you see is what you get. No, like whatever you type with your toolbar or you use your handwriting, it's the immediate thing that you see what you type. We also support accessibility for our users with like visually impaired users. We have a very strong handwriting in AI powered. As the side flavor of MathType, we also provide inorganic chemistry. There's auto formatting. As I said, MathType and LaTeX support. You can find all the math notations that you can imagine. It's there. And if for some reason it's not there, you always have the handwriting to just write it yourself and it recognizes it. And so I always call MathType is like really easy to use, very easy to integrate. I mean, it's developed to be used by primary school students until NASA, Amazon, Huawei engineers. So it has to be something like really adaptable for everyone. And where you can use this MathType, which is like an external keyboard to write mathematics. No, we can easily call it like that. So anywhere that you need, more or less, anywhere that you need to type a math formula in any platform, you are using Microsoft Word, it works there. You are using Google Docs, it works there. Well, you are using Moodle, it works in Moodle. You are using CK Editor to develop your own product, it works with CK Editor. You are using WordPress, I think it's here, Tiny, Blackboard, I don't know, Fonto, anything, Heretto. There are like millions of platforms, technologies that you may hear in the market, and we integrate with all of them with MathType. MathType is really a very straightforward, a very common product that you can integrate anywhere. Okay, and if for some reason, because it happens sometimes, they tell us, I use this editor, that I have never heard of it, but no problem, because we also have a MathType for generic integration. This is for the integrations that like we are not familiar, we didn't specialize. That's why we created a generic one that works again for all the technologies. So now I would like to directly go to the MathType demo. Okay. So this demo wiris.com MathType, or if you just write to Google MathType demo for WirisQuizzes for MathType demo Wiris, you will end up finding this page. You know, these demo pages are open for public. And here you can see different tabs. Maybe we can start with the main one. So MathType looks like this. So all our products, MathType for Office tools, MathType for LMS, CMS, and WirisQuizzes are plugins. So they are not standalone products. You should have a functioning and existing platform to be able to choose which MathType you want to integrate, which integration you have to do, but they're all plugins. So plugins meaning that they will pop up, or you will have to go to choose them somewhere. So this is the old image of MathType that is in the market for like maybe 40 years, 35 years. That was with Microsoft Word. Now it also works with Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, with 365, Google Docs, Google Slides, and then you can move your content to Google Sheet, to Google Classroom, that we are working also on it to improve it. So how it works, you can see that like there are several different tabs. No, anything that you can imagine from the math, it's here. The toolbar is customizable as well. So for example, if you need this tab to be here, but this one to be here, you can. You can also use a simplified one. You can change the font. You can change the size of your formula. You can change the color of your formula, put it in bold, put it in italic. If for some reason you are having clients outside of India, for example, in Arabic-speaking countries, in Hebrew-speaking countries, we also support right to left handwriting. It's also good to know. And so this is basically how MathType looks. And ChemType, now I will show a little bit more about MathType as well. ChemType is very similar to MathType, again with the similar, a little bit more chemistry-related notations. But in this tiny button, you have the periodic table. Okay, but the same idea, customizable font size, tabs can be moved, and I don't know, you can use anything. Arabic notation is the one that I just mentioned. I think it's not very relevant to us, but it's good to know that it's there. For some reason, maybe you want to grow your market later. So now let's stay a little bit more in the developer tab, okay? And let's see what we can do. So remember that, for example, here we have the full toolbar, where if you think that you don't need all those things, you can just simply use the simplified toolbar, and you can customize your toolbar, even putting only these things. Or, for example, this is an example of a publisher toolbar, no? They added these ones because they use these ones more than maybe a university uses that one. Here also it's part compatible. You have the math symbol, the relations, geometrical notations as well, and you have here different ones. You can choose them, which grade. Maybe you can tell, okay, for my products that I'm selling for, I don't know, middle school and high school, I will give them like this. Or for, I don't know, for higher education, I will arrange my toolbar in this way, no? So as I said, everything is customizable here. Also, of course, especially if you are a publisher or if you are a content creator, if you're a developer, sometimes you have to export the content that you have. Maybe you use it in Microsoft Word and then you have to move it to somewhere, or maybe your client is a school or university. They wrote their formulas in something and they want to send it to you so that you export them to the online environment. So we support several formats with our formulas, no? PNG, SVG, obviously PDF, EPS, and Flash. Okay. And another point is that like it's compatible with MathML, that is like maybe more used now, but it's also compatible with LaTeX, because we know that in the content creation world and also in the scientific world, especially, for example, if you are like writing scientific books, scientific articles, if you are a research institute, many times they still prefer to use LaTeX because that's what they are used to. So we give them the both options. Now, if they want to write 1/2, they can write it in LaTeX format and they can write it in the MathML format. No, it changes. And then here, no, in both formats. And then this is the accessibility that I was mentioning. So right now it's only in English, but for the visually impaired people, there's a lot of screen readers in the market, which means that like this part, for example, the screen reader will read it without any problems. But here, this way also I can show the handwriting demo. But here, if I, right now my laptop is a touch screen, so I'm writing with my finger. For example, I don't know, it's Q plus 5 B. No? So this one, wait, there was well, here, I think we have to activate it. That I think now I didn't activate it. But here, for example, when I insert my formula, what happens is here that like when I move my mouse, my cursor over each notation, it reads it aloud. With normal screen readers, they cannot do it because they are designed to read the text. No? And then when it, for example, comes to this, it cannot read it. But if you have MathType and the screen reader in your computer, in your environment, you can also hear, I don't know, to the power of absolute values, square root, or whatever you are typing, it reads out your formula a lot, so that it enables special students and teachers to be able to use MathType in a proper way as well. So this is, as you can see, MathType. As I said, it's, I mean, in 15 minutes, I think max, you can be an expert already of MathType, and it's really easy to use. I mean, obviously, because it's very visual. You see your formulas here, you see your tabs, you can move. And if you want to customize it from the developer side, perhaps maybe you need a bit of work, but if you have this as an end user to create content, or if this is part of your product that you sell to your clients, this is what they will see, and it's really, really easy. We almost don't even get any requests of MathType training, anything like that. It's like really easy with millions of users and very, I don't know, very straightforward. So here I wanted to show one example. Sorry that I didn't prepare it before. I know in Sheets, no, sorry. I just wanted to show, for example, how it looks like in Google Docs. One example, no? So obviously in my G Suite, I integrated MathType, and I find it in extensions, okay? And then here I have MathType, open MathType. Okay, my MathType is opening here. First time takes a little bit longer because now I'm just opening it, okay? And then, as I said, it's a pop-up. So what would I do is like, I don't know, for example, I'm writing, solve the equation below and simplify the result, no? Because with these things, you can also have open questions or multiple choice questions, however you prefer. And then here, I have to write my formula. I can use my toolbar. I can choose this 2 divided by 4 to the power of x plus I don't know, 4 to the power of 3x, for example. Insert. And my formula is here. And if I want to do something with handwriting, because maybe the students are using mobiles, maybe they are using a tablet or a Chromebook with a touch device, a touch screen. And then here I can write now, for example, I'm writing with my mouse instead of my finger. Square root of 2x cubed. Okay, it recognizes well. Imagine that like I really have a very bad handwriting and it recognizes it wrong. I can just change it to 8. For example, now it says Z, no? Okay, fine. I just put it X. Okay, insert and my formula is here. So this is how it works in Google Sheets, no? And then if I want to integrate it into an HTML editor, for example, this is a generic integration of MathType for HTML editors. And it looks a little bit more the same, but a little bit similar. The only difference that you would have is that in the toolbar of your existing platform, there will appear two new buttons, which is MathType and ChemType. When you click the MathType, it pops up again. You can use your toolbar and you can use your handwriting. Search. And my formula is here. And if I just double click, my formula comes back. I can say, okay, this is not like that. It's x squared, okay? And it's updated. So you don't have to delete the whole formula and rewrite it again because it's not an image. It knows that it's a formula and it's editable. And same thing here, ChemType, as I showed, with this tiny button periodic table comes up. And here, if you write, I don't know, carbon dioxide, double bond, with nitrogen, this is, for example, a quite challenging handwriting. It didn't recognize my oxygen. So I can rewrite it. It's again quite bad, but okay, insert as an example. And my formula is here. Now if I double click, it's here, and I just cancel it. So this is MathType. As I said, here, okay. So before going to WirisQuizzes, because here the first part of MathType finishes, I don't know if you have any questions before we jump to the second part of WirisQuizzes. Do we have any questions? Okay. Hi, Mate, by the way. Mate joins our events, no? When he sees that there is an online event. So it works, actually, MathType works with tablets, okay? However, it depends on the application that you are using. So, for example, let's think that it's a Moodle, no? So if you go to the Moodle website in an iPad, it will work. If you use the Moodle mobile application, it won't work because MathType in the mobile application is not our priority now. And why it's not actually, it was because we were having the MathType for mobile applications available. But interestingly, we had so few interest, we had so few requests that we realized that like maintaining and working for MathType for mobile makes us lose money because we are not selling it that much. So that's why we froze it. But yes, of course, I understand that it would be so nice. But interestingly, we're also thinking that like, come on, everybody is using mobile. Everybody will ask for it. But that's not the reality, interestingly. But if in the future we have more requests, of course, because at the end, we still have the base of the product there. It's just frozen. We haven't worked on it for the last maybe 4 years. But I mean, it's there. It's just we have to maintain and upgrade, and it would be ready, I guess, in some months. but at the moment, no. Okay, so I shall continue with the okay, voice recognition. No, unfortunately, not now, no. So is it in our roadmap? I don't think so. At the moment, we cannot provide any service like that. Is there any way to already written content to editable MathType? Possible, that's very possible. We have to know in which platform your content is and in which way your formulas are. So for example, if your formulas are an image, we cannot edit it with MathType. But if your formula was written with another tool that works in LaTeX and MathML, then it's possible to, there is a possibility that you can start editing it with MathType. But another question that sometimes we get a little bit maybe related to this one is, okay, there's another one. Of course, sometimes, for example, they have MathType in Microsoft Word, they have MathType in their TinyMC or in Fruala or WordPress or X editor, HTML editor or XML editor environment. And they have MathType in both of them, and they use MathType to create their formulas in both of them. This is, for example, 100% without any problem. You can transfer your data, your content from one platform to the other. There is no data loss if both of them are MathType created. If one of them is and the other one is not, or you have already created content with some other technology and now you want to use MathType in this technology, can I use that one? That is a particular case that we should know which one you want to move, which data, which technology was there. Sometimes it's possible, sometimes it's not, based on the initially created contents technology. Okay. Okay, so far you saw that like we have been talking about MathType, no, to type math formulas. We didn't talk anything like, I don't know, calculation, validation. I mean, it's at the end, it's like a keyboard, no? With our keyboards, we can type whatever we want. The keyboard is not going to correct my typos. It's not going to suggest me anything. It's a keyboard. So MathType is actually the same. It's just an external keyboard, like a plugin, that you can type anything. Correct things, incorrect things, but it's not MathType's responsibility to provide you any feedback or any correction. That's why actually the prices of MathType are like quite affordable, and that's why we end up having millions of users. So now maybe we can already start with the second part of our presentation, which is WirisQuizzes. So WirisQuizzes I think it's a fabulous product, but it's not as straightforward as MathType. And why it's not? Because it does many more things than MathType does, no? As I said, like MathType is for anyone. WirisQuizzes is also for anyone, but after a training perhaps, no? So what anyone can do with WirisQuizzes, why would someone would be interested in doing a trial or perhaps following it by purchasing a WirisQuizzes trial, a subscription? So what we hear from clients, leads, users, or I don't know, potential requests is that people or students or teachers or content creators, I mean, there are a lot of topics in mathematics. There are a lot of things. But then if you are stuck or if you are forced to use an LMS or an online platform for your exams, many times you have to ask multiple choice. But mathematics is not like that. Mathematics, you learn a lot of things, you draw things, you do calculations, you do, I mean, you know, it's not like only a text one. STEM world is like a lot of calculations, clean, like erase it, recalculated it, graphs and statistics and geometry, analytics. Like there is a lot of flavors in math. So if you are stuck with multiple choice, you can never ask your students or your users can never ask them open questions, which is actually how it was before in the traditional education, no? Like when I was in the school, there were no LMSs. I was having exams of open questions always that I had to write step by step, and arrive to the final answer. So now with WirisQuizzes, that's what you can do again. So it's a bit like combining the traditional education with today's technology. So you can ask open questions, you can ask graphical and statistical questions, and there is automatic grading. So the teacher or the content creator creates the questions, the question bank, the exam, whatever. Sorry. And then there's automatic evaluation that they don't have to go back to read the results of a student of a test, but it's automatically graded, sorry. So this is also good for the students, because student is not like always yes and no, because maybe my final answer is no, because I did everything correctly, but in the pre-last step, I confused something, but because of that, I get 0. But how was it before? Before my teacher was checking the last exam, but then the last final answer, but then going up to see where I failed, and sometimes I was getting half points. So now again with WirisQuizzes, there is also partial grading. And then when again someone fails from an exam, you have to run to the teacher, but why, what happened, how is it? There is instant feedback on each question that the content creator creates for their students. So you don't have to explain to each student what was the correct answer, what they should have done. And from the, let's say, integration side, again, it's a really easy integration. We support LTI integration up to 1.3. We support API integration. There is a super detailed and easy to understand documentation. And there is also free and paid trainings. We have the technical support team that are having like really technical backgrounds. They will assist you until the point that everything is working fine. No? So a little bit of an interview and introduction of WirisQuizzes. And now we can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so here again, the link is open to public. If you write, maybe it's more tricky to arrive to this one. If you need, so today now I will show a little bit of a generic demo, because I don't want to go into very much technical details. But if you are interested in WirisQuizzes to learn more, how it would look in your own product, how it look in your own platform, then feel free to contact Anindya, and we can arrange another meeting to go maybe a little bit deeper in WirisQuizzes. Okay, so once you have WirisQuizzes integrated in your technology, in your platform, in your products, in your LMS, okay, the first thing that comes is that now you are not chained to multiple choice, but you have open questions. And here there is, as I said, like automatic evaluation, and there is so there is a mathematical brain. What I mean by that, so if an editor asks this question and the correct answer is x plus 2, so you define the correct answer of one question in WirisQuizzes to your platform once at the beginning, and then all the students who takes this exam and they see this question, for example, they can write, okay, the answer of this question is 2 plus x. So as an image, it's different than x plus 2, but mathematically WirisQuizzes calculates it and validates it and gives the student the full points because it's mathematically equal. However, of course, we can have exceptions, no? For example, here, let's check this example, this question, because we give full power to the content creator. If the content creator says, the answer of this, simplify the fraction 2.4, I2 divided by 4, the correct answer must be 1.2. Okay, how do I validate this? Do I give full points to anything that is mathematically equal to 1.1 divided by 2, so 0.5, 0.5, 5 divided by 10, all of them are a half? Or, no, I will give full points only to the answers that are literally equal to 1 divided by 2. 0.5 is not accepted. No, anything that they can choose. And this is the relevant option. If you do all options, you have here everything that you want. I want the exact answer. My tolerance to this one is 0. And what does this mean? Because maybe the answer of one question is 0.876533. And then the teacher says, okay, I will accept 0.9. I give an error margin of 5%. I want scientific notation. I want decimal notation. I don't mind. It can be 0.5, 0.5. It can be a fraction. But it's very important that it's simplified. I don't mind. As long as it's a half, I also accept 50 divided by 100 because I know that the student means half. Or no. In my question, I said it must be simplified. So it must be simplified. Or so all these things, they can choose. Also match unit of measure. This is an interesting one. Maybe this teacher or the editor asks the question in decimeter or centimeter, and they want the answer to be in centimeter, the same unit. Or if they don't mind if it's 50 centimeter or 500 millimeter. Depending on what they click here, the automatic evaluation, the feedback, and everything to the student will update automatically. So now here, we asked to be simplified. We didn't give almost any error margin, and we said mathematically equal. Okay, so now, as a student or as an end user, I go and I take this exam. So I assume that when I put 0.5 and I submit my exam, I will have the feedback of my teacher automatically saying, okay, it's mathematically equal, it's simplified, I have my full point, I go to the next question. So these two sentences here, we wrote them. So any person can write whatever they want in whichever language that they prefer. Or if they don't want to give any feedback, they don't give any feedback. And if I write 5 divided by 10, no, this is actually also a mathematically equal half. And if I submit, now here it says mathematically equal, but it's not simplified. So I get 0 points for this exam, for this question. Okay. And here is another example of the units. No? Calculate the sum of 30 centimeters and 500 millimeters. We have different options. I can write, I can write 80 centimeters, submit, I have it. I can write, and as another student, for example, 800 centimeters, and I submit. It tells it's not mathematically equal, I get 0 points. Okay, so this is how it works, the basics of WirisQuizzes. So with this one, so why it's again interesting for someone, because with this one you can create a different question bank, you can create a different content that the students can also have different ways of being evaluated. And this is also very much catching for the schools or the universities who are buying their content externally. Or I don't know, if you are a private teacher, for example, you can create some exams in, for example, you are having topic of units, no? You can create 30 questions, and then you don't even have to go back and read the results of your students, and they are automatically evaluated. And also you can vary your questions with random variables. So this is really interesting, and our users really love it. It means you create one question, but you don't write the exact number, but you put variables. So A divided by B, C divided by D. A can be any number between this and that, B can be any number with this and that. So what happens is that, like, every time that I go to this exam for this question, I will have the same question, but with different numbers. Okay, so there is countless, like, unlimited number of questions and that you can create. So again, for example, units, no? You create 10 questions, fixed questions, 10 random variable questions for units, suddenly you have a question bank of your own of, I don't know, 1 million questions. You can just forget about it because it can be used every year, every time. Every time they will have a different number. Of course, the editor cannot know the correct answer of each possibility, but that is calculated by WirisQuizzes. The automatic evaluation and feedback will be calculated by WirisQuizzes depending on which number that student gets. Okay. And this is not only for this kind of questions, but you can also do random questions with bars and charts. So again, for example, now the different types of questions can be asked by WirisQuizzes. Apart from multiple choice that probably you already have, apart from the open questions, now we can add bars and charts, and we can even randomize it. Okay. Graphical questions, fill in the blanks questions, statistical questions, sketch answers. So now we are already going to some interesting points. Okay. I will go this part a little bit faster because, as I said, like if someone wants to get into details of WirisQuizzes, that has to be done in another separate meeting. Here, I just want to give an overview. For example, draw the bisector of the highlighted angle. This is a question that the editor created for the end user. And as the end user or as a student, I have to draw a bisector. For example, this, and I say this, okay? I submit. Okay, I have the feedback that it's not correct. I have my 0 points, automatic evaluation, and I have the correct answer that I should have answered. So I can see here. So in one question, you have everything. Your grade, your feedback from your teacher, and the correct answer that you should have done. And of course, obviously, if you do your question correctly, this little box here doesn't appear. And if you are not sure, you can repeat watching it again. Okay, this is another similar one. Here, again, the editor said this question, fill the region delimited by this, okay? For example, I can choose that this area is the correct answer. Submit, okay. Correct, I have my full point, and that thing doesn't appear. If I'm another student and I say, this and this is the correct answer, these two areas, submit, I have my feedback, and my box will appear here. And step by step, it shows me what I should have done. Here, advanced mathematics. So you can write simple mathematics, advanced mathematics, anything that you want. I'm not going to go into details of it. This is just to show sometimes we had meetings with the head of mathematics department, head of engineering, and then we just put these two advanced mathematics examples to show them that like, it's not only for basic mathematics, but our examples are simple so that anyone who is not a mathematician can also understand and relate with it. No? And fill in the blanks question, this is an interesting one also. So inside one question, actually you can ask 3 things, and each of them will be, for example, 2, and I say 3. So now all of them are incorrect, obviously. And I will have the feedback for each of them. And well, here I did all of them wrong, so I get 0. But maybe I did 2 of them correct, and my teacher, well, or the editor decides at the beginning that if you have 2 correct answers, you get half point. If you have 1 correct answer, nothing. If you have 0 correct answer, nothing. But if you did 2 out of 3, okay, I give you half points. And maybe here also in the feedback, because in the feedback, remember that I said you can write whatever you want. So in the feedback from the teacher or the editor, you can put a link. Maybe that link takes me to a YouTube recording. Maybe that link takes me to a PDF where I have to study functions or units or whatever. Or maybe it takes me to another homework that I have 5 questions about that topic that I have to do to practice. So CalcMe is also part of Wiris, but it's the one that is like kind of the brain of WirisQuizzes that enables some features such as random variables and graphical questions. We just put it there so that like if you see it somewhere, or if you have a WirisQuizzes subscription or a trial license, you end up copying me. So don't think that it's a separate thing. It's like all part of WirisQuizzes. And statistical questions. So you can create questions with bars and charts. You can change the colors. You can put it vertical. Well, maybe I can show one of them here. So as an editor, how do I create this question? I write my text part with my normal keyboard, and I use WirisQuizzes to create this part. No, so I'm in the bar. How do I want my bar? I want my bar this way, vertical, this, I don't know, like this. I can add, no, I have 5 variables. This one has to be bigger. This is like this small. And the correct answer will be this. I define my correct answer, no? And then I save it. And as the student now, or the end user, I see my question. I have my data. Now I have to move my bars. Okay, this is this. Okay, submit. Okay, I get 0 points because in all of them I failed. But maybe if I did 2 or 3 of them correct, I have full points. Again, like there's partial grading that can be decided by the editor. And since I badly failed from all of them, I have the correct answer here. But I think even if you fail from one, this correct answer appears here. It's a bit similar here that you can put your pie in 3D or 2D and move it and answer your question. And here we have, this is a very newly added thing. Students can answer graphical questions by sketching the correct answer. So you can draw it and then it turns into the correct answer, well, if it's correct. And for example, let's try this one. Sketch a circle of radius 2 centered at the coordinate origin. I have no idea about this. Sorry, my mouse. For example. Okay, and then submit. Okay, it's like very sketch is equal. No, it's not equal. I have my feedback. I have my 0 points. And then here I have the correct answer. Okay, and if I did, because it's from 2, no, it says, okay, it's centered 2. So if I do 2, wait, 2, let's see if it will accept. Okay, more or less. So for example, here I understand that since I passed from all the lines of 2, it accepts. The teacher or the editor created this question, giving a little bit of error margin. Okay, and then since it's correct, this box of true answer doesn't appear. So this is also WirisQuizzes. I did a really generic and quite fast demo for you. Normally we can go into details of all these features if you're interested. And apart from that, okay, maybe just like a brief introduction about how our pricing is. When someone contacts us or when we are talking to someone, the first thing that we always ask the number of users, because our licensing system is based on the number of users. If you are coming from an academic institute, we ask, okay, how many teachers and faculty and students will use our tools? Not the overall, because we don't want to charge history teacher or an English teacher, but the STEM, engineering, math, physics, economics, these ones are always MathType and potential WirisQuizzes users. If we are talking with a corporate, we ask them, okay, you have a team of content editor, admin, typist, publisher. Sometimes there are different names. Okay, among these, for example, sometimes they tell, okay, we are a team of 50 editors. Okay, will 50 of you use MathType? Yes. Okay, then you need a license for 50 users. Okay, we are a team of 50 editors, but we are divided in 10 groups of 10. 10 of us are for STEM responsible, 10 of us are for language. Okay, so if only 10 of 50 will use MathType or WirisQuizzes, then you should have a subscription for 10 people. So we only need the real number of virus users, not the overall. So this is that. Again, if you have any questions, if you need a code, anything, that you can contact Anindya. And well, I'm very happy that you joined our webinar today. And I hope it was interesting and useful for you. And it gave you some ideas how perhaps MathType and WirisQuizzes can improve your product or your day to work or the quality of your content, your work. And now, please feel free to write if you have any questions now or to me later, to Anindya. Okay, here. Can we integrate MathType in InDesign? So InDesign, so we have an integration with InDesign, but it's not like this directly, but maybe a little bit like this, no? We have a workaround of MathType integration in InDesign. There is no WirisQuizzes integration in InDesign. We had some discussions, let's say calls and meetings with Adobe and InDesign to finalize this. But at the end, there were some commercial terms that couldn't conclude, so the project froze at that moment. But if it's the only platform that you work, we have this workaround, and you can try if it works for you. And if it's not, maybe you can let us. We can contact InDesign to restart the negotiation. Tell them that look, we have people interested in using your product and mine together. Let's reopen the conversation, and we can bring it alive. Thank you, Matei. Are these graphs generated automatically when you write the equations in the question? You draw the, so here, for example. So as the editor, no, the editor is the one that is creating the question. So editor draws it. I went into the wrong example. The editor, let's go to the teacher authoring part. And here, let's go to the WirisQuizzes Studio. Here, so there is the initial content. Wait, let's put this down. There is the initial content that the person, the editor, draws. And then you say, okay, this is the initial content the student will find. And then the correct answer for this question is this circle. Okay, so, wait, what was the question? Are these graphs generated automatically? Yes, so, well, automatically, you define the correct graph at the beginning, and then, yes, and then it will appear in the question automatically for every time there is an attempt for that question. How do we create 2D, 3D pie charts or any graphs in WirisQuizzes? Okay, let's, because it's the one that I skipped, okay. I go back to it. So we created like this. Again, so this is how the student will see the question. As the editor, let's see how you create it. Let's go to WirisQuizzes Studio. Okay, so the initial content, this is the one that you decide how it will look like, which colors you want it to be, which name you want it to be. You want it to be 3D, you want it to be with more. No, I want it to be less. And then the correct answer to this question must be this. You define, and then there's automatic evaluation, feedback, this and that. So it's created like that here. You decide first if it's 2D or 3D, how many you want, what do you want to write here. You change it, Bob, or this and that. Colors, everything bold, not bold. So it's the same. I mean, you remember that at the beginning I said that it's a little bit more complex than MathType, but I think from a corporate point of view, that I assume that you are all used to creating content very often and you are used to using different tools. Maybe for you it's not even that complicated, but maybe it's a little different feeling for a professor at a university, I don't know, with some age and experience and who is new to the LMSs and WirisQuizzes and these things. Maybe for them, because we have a lot of users like that, and it's a bit more challenging with them for us to do the demos. But maybe it's not the same case. Okay, for the InDesign. Okay, I'll send that to Anindya, and Anindya can pass it to you. The initial content is auto-designed. No, we create it because we are the editor. We decide what the question is. We decide what to do. Like, okay, for example, so now this is the demo page, so I cannot create a new question. But when you are, for example, inside the platform, you create a new question in a blank page. And in that blank page, there is nothing auto-design. You create your thing. Okay, add what kind of question I want to do. I want to do an equation question. I want to do a text, plotter question, sketch question. Okay, no, I want a statistical question. And in the statistical question, I want it to be a bar or a line. Okay, I want it to be line, but not like that, but this, or vertical and with, I don't know, a bit more. I need two more with the colors different and this and that. So so we don't provide any content. We provide the tools to create a richer content. Let's call it like that. But there is no automatic designed questions. There is no proposals or exemplary questions that you can use as a template. Like the content must be created fully by the content editor. Yeah. MathType is available for mobile devices, yes. Definitely. If you have Microsoft Word in your mobile device, or if you have I mean, it depends on where you want to use it, but yes, it is. It is available. Okay, I'll stop sharing my screen. Okay, and any other questions? Any other comments? Okay, so from my side, then that's it. What I wanted to explain you today. And once again, thank you very much for joining. It was a pleasure explaining our company and our products to you. And if you have any questions, any doubts, please feel free to contact Anindya. I think, Anindya, you added your email address now in the chat.
Yeah, I think I have already provided in the chat box, right? So the idea is organizing this presentation before we can actually proceed to conclude was that we wanted to be in touch with the community who are using or planning to use or planning to have some technology need to be deployed in their EdTech and develop the community. Means like eventually, if you just drop an email to Tukche or me, we will add you to the LinkedIn so that you can periodically get updates also what is happening, right? So this is more or less like the idea before organizing this presentation. So anyway, we are available at any point of time. I thank Tukche to take care of a very long session, lengthy session, where he seems like squeezes is not a very easy topic to cover, but I think we can have an in-person discussions about how it can be customized, deployed, or maybe it's what kind of environment variable that you can set to generate how many people can actually participate. All those things, nitty-gritties of those WirisQuizzes, as well as MathType for editors can be discussed, right? So thank you again. Thank you for your time. We will wait for your responses. I think we will be try to get back to you with periodical informations about MathType and as well as WirisQuizzes. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you very much and have a nice afternoon. Take care. Goodbye.
Thank you. Yeah, bye.